had to find the sounds that sounded like they were from that era. You kind of have to have a taste of what that music sounds like. I remember my mom playing a lot of tape cassettes, bands from 80s and 90s, a lot of 90s music too. The vibe, the essence, and the sounds, it's still in my memory. As long as you catch the vibe, you should be okay. If not, just go ahead and listen to a few songs. I wanted to quickly pick some sounds, put them together, make it as close to 80s vibe as possible. So I have the Synthmaster player from KV331 Audio. It is full of sounds that resemble that 80s era. So I found this bell piano sound and I like the way it sounded. That was a good enough start for me. I found another bell keys. By the way, everything I used to put together this 80s track was pulled from Synthmaster player. Next bell keys. Both the sounds are dreamy and they have a lot of reverb. That's the essence of the music from the 80s to me. Little call and response thing going on here. Next I added bass ARP. I decided to use analog drums from SampleSon. All of the percussion, all of the drums in one plugin. Next, I consolidated all of this into waveform, pitched it down 300 cents. Final touch was the vocals from Slate Digital free pack I downloaded from Slate Digital website. After going through quite a bunch of them, I picked this one because it fits the vibe. Cool. So after that, I consolidated these two tracks, both vocal and the 80s track. All of this was 80 BPM, but we're making a whole new track. I went all the way to 180 BPM and I stretched the sample. I pitched it 300 semitones up. I mangled with it for quite some time just to get the right pitch. Basically, my preference. It was the taste. It's really up to you whether you want to pitch it up, pitch it down, do it the way it sounds best to you. I wanted to create some kind of layers. Then I went and duplicated this sample, pitched it 900 semitones down, and I panned it to the left. Then I duplicated it again and made a chipmunk version. Basically the same as the original one, but I chose the Stretch Pro mode and I shifted the format all the way up here. All of them together. As opposed to this. A little more width, depth, fuller sample. That's what I wanted to achieve. Next, I opened this sample in Edison, reduced the sample rate to 5000 Hertz. I feel like this is a known trick already. Everybody should know this by now in FL Studio. But if you don't, double click on the sample, then you go on the waveform, edit in audio editor, then you go here, sample rate. Currently it's 48,000 Hertz. Right click, you change the sample rate. Recommended sample rate reduction is between 3 to 5,000 Hertz. But again, you can do whatever you want. Just do what feels good to you. I did 5,000, click this resample, and then accept. I'm not gonna do it right now because I've already done it. Then you can drag it back into this window and you have a new sample. Here's the final 5000 Hertz. Waveform is slightly thinner, a little more lean. Musical fitness. let's move on to the new beat. I opened the sample in a Fruity Slicer, selected the slicing by the beat. I increased a little bit of attack just to get rid of the, clicks and pops. Turned up the decay slightly. So it doesn't sound much different from the original sample, but I just wanted that groove because this adds a little bit of a groove, which adds to the overall cadence. Here's the second version, and that's where I actually made some changes. And this new beat, I used only one shots. Most of these one shots came from Cymatics Apex pack. Here's the first one, keys. Next is actually my favorite, Neon Keys, which is the same melody, just sounds a lot more vibey. The next one is the same melody, different sound. The next one is Bell Arp. I took this Bell Ice, built the chords, and I made this going up and down and up and down, hitting the notes that are a part of the chord. Unfortunately, I did not save that chord structure. For whatever reason, I deleted it. I consolidated that ARP melody. I chopped it. It was too stretched. I consolidated it again. I also pitched it down whole octave. It's just another layer. You don't need to add new sounds. You can use the same sounds in a different way. It will add another texture. Then I added a Reese bass Toronto. By the way, I just preserved the names of these sounds in case you want to go and download Cymatics Apex 808. In the transient of this 808, there is a high-pitched sound. For some reason, I just liked it. Here's the kick, clap, hi-hat. The last but not the least, bass bite. But I used it as an effect, so I reversed it and I just used it in the beginning of the beat. That's it. Check out the beat.